All right, we coming back to you live today. Just discussing a few topics and issues, opinions, concerns that have been on our mind. Let me just put a small plug in. I want to try to highlight young black entrepreneurs. I have a colleague that I went to high school with by the name of Ashton Roberts. You can find him on Facebook, on Instagram. It'll be Royal Intentions instead of the S at the end. Just put the Z right there. But he crafts some fine jewelry. And like I said, I just want to try to start highlighting people, young black business professionals. And it won't just be strictly to young black business professionals, but I will try to make an emphasis on those. But yeah, we back at it again.
And Matt,
Hopefully,
and Matt just say, and because like the argument would be, this is the logic that's been going on with like the formation thing. For you, like, why are you today? This is a year. This is a time of equality. So why are you emphasizing a young black entrepreneur as opposed to everybody? Don't all entrepreneurs matter? I just want to say it's because of the lack of emphasis that there needs to be emphasis, and that's just the main thing about that. If you don't understand that, it's when one is under recognized that then there tends to be sort of a quote unquote over kind of recognition.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yes.
Yeah. So yeah, Ashton Roberts, Facebook, Instagram, and Royal Intentions with the Z, not an S. And yeah, that's how we're gonna go. So going to segue into that formation, the whole debacle, debate on that. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, my Facebook has been going down. I love it. It's what I think about it is that. So I've seen people obviously applaud Beyonce, and I've seen people, mostly black people. I guess I haven't seen white people on my Facebook. Don't care. But I have seen white people argue against it, against the people who are applauding it. Then I also seen black people say that it's this cultural appropriation in a way. I've seen some people from New Orleans. I'm from New Orleans, and some people have posted articles and have made comments that they feel that she is just exploiting the tragedy of Katrina. Can I just say that I don't feel that way, to be quite honest? Let me just go on, because I have to, I guess, illustrate where I stand. I'm not a Beyonce. I wouldn't say that I'm a Beyonce fan. I rarely listen. I don't ever listen to her except maybe when she came on the radio with like "Drunk in Love" or something. But when I saw that formation video and what she did in the Super Bowl, I don't have nothing against it. I don't feel that she did. I don't feel it's racist. And anyone who thinks it's racist, I feel that they just don't understand. They're drawing false correlations between a group of people like the Black Panthers with the Ku Klux Klan, and this is just the people who don't like it. In this case, white people who are saying that it's racist. I feel that they're just confused as to what the Black Panthers stood for, and they're also confused. And let's say you have some articles or something where the Black Panthers did this and that. I think not, but I think you're confused as to what Black empowerment is to Black people currently today. And why it's necessary, because a lot of white people I see in their arguments are saying that like, why y'all so concerned about race? Why is it so much about race? But it's the when you're disadvantaged and you feel disempowered. Just like I'm not comparing black people I'm not comparing them to the gay community, but I am comparing the gay community in this. When the gay community was disempowered, and they felt like they had no voice and this and that. What did you see? You saw hardcore parades. You saw crazy shows. All of a sudden, we're getting 20 times gayer, and you were like, "What's going on?" A lot of people were like, "What's going on?" There's an agenda. Yeah, there's an agenda because they feel like they are not a part. And now, much like black, are they not a part, or they're not respected, and they're looked down upon. And the same thing with the black community. In that it's the same logic. When you feel like you're looked down upon, when you feel like you're not a part, when you feel like you're disadvantaged, you need to feel empowered. And stuff like what Beyonce did is to feel empowered. But that's my feelings.
And so, I'm going to piggyback on what you just said on the tail end of that first, and then I'm going to go into mine. like you said, that is a hidden agenda. You look at Scandal.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love Scandal, man, and I stopped watching Scandal before it started diving more into the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community. Cause I don't discriminate on that. I have an aunt, man, one of my favorite aunts, favorite people in the world. She's gay, so
And my brother is gay.
I don't discriminate against that, man. I feel like every family has a gay person.
Yeah.
It just depends on how that family decides to live with it.
Yeah.
But anyways, I used to love Scandal, and then I watched the episode recently. Boom, and today I think today it returns. TGIT. Thank God it's Thursday. I think Scandal. The shows may return today. I watched How to Get a Word of Murder. I will be watching that tonight probably. But so it's in there now. How many people have you seen? And I mean, I try not to be insensitive, because I may not have done thorough enough research. How many people have you seen in the news killed for being gay, or shot at they're having a pep rally in a riot in the whatever, a riot in the streets to respect being gay? How many people were arrested and killed and things of that nature when they were doing the protests for gay marriage?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't see that on TV. Maybe they're not showing that, but maybe it's happening and we just don't see it. But how many did you see versus for black rights and for equality and for being on the same ground, the same foundation as other cultures and other races? But diving into the entire situation, so I have a colleague. This is the same colleague, by the way, that I spoke on in the last video we did, that told me that he felt that black people started the institution that is racism.
Mm-hmm.
You remember me speaking on that?
Mm-hmm.
So he posted this. He says, in order to remove racism, we need to destroy the past that continues to separate us and realize not one race, it says no, but not one race is entitled to anything anymore. Celebrities and people in power, such as this dumb broad, referring to Beyonce, who have so many idiots who idolize them, promote this kind of, I guess, subliminal, I don't know what this term is, messages, and people think it's okay because she's cool, beautiful, etc. These people have the power to influence others through their talent and political power, but don't encourage unity. And then it is followed by a quote that was made at a live interview that says, Beyonce should have honored America's armed forces, not the Black Panther Party. So, what are your thoughts on that entire transcript that I just read right there?
Well, to comment on the last part, there's a lot of people in the South, Confederate flag waving, NRA loving people that support the military, the armed forces, very much, and they are supremely racist. And so that is not necessarily gonna do anything. That doesn't make. I don't think that's gonna make people empathize with the black community if she was just to support the armed forces. But as far as this causing. He said that we're not entitled to anything anymore. And here's the thing: y'all know me. I'm a huge critic of the black community because, and it's due to a strong love. It's like seeing your brother, your sister, and you're pissed off at them, and you want to tell them like, "What are you doing?" And so I consider myself to be pretty fair. I don't feel what Beyonce is doing is divisive, and I think if you do, it's because you're just you're on the outside looking in. You understand? Now I will say this. Yeah, but I will say this. Now there are a couple of people, for instance, on my Facebook who do post about regarding black empowerment all throughout the year, and I do feel like they lack any kind of inkling of a want of unity. They do borderline hate white people, right? So those people do exist, but they are such a small minority, and the majority of the people that are vibing with Beyonce's Formation. Again, they just want to feel empowered. It's like any marginalized people want to feel empowered. It's like the feminist movement of the 70s and whatnot, when women felt like they were disenfranchised, women felt that they were not being treated equally. They went hard, and so Beyonce is going hard, and that's what this Black Power thing. I like, because what people are saying, there's a lot of pretty good comments out there. Pro-Black is not about being anti-white. And I was like,
one more time, please. Just say it one more time.
Pro-Black is not about being anti-white. And it's hard, I think, for when you are a white person who grows up in a predominantly white area who has reaped the benefits of living in a lot of privileged areas. And I hate this thing of, now there's this thing of white people are denying that there is white privilege. Of course, like, what are you talking about? Of course there is. If you were born into a suburban home in a predominantly white area, you are, a lot of times, it's very likely, I'll say it plainly like this. As black peoples are the heirs or the descendants of oppression and all kinds of death and physical trauma all throughout the years and emotional trauma, as we are the heirs and descendants of that, white people, as we reap the pain of it, you reap the benefits of it. Many of you, not all white people, but and like, it's not your fault. 22-year-old Tom working in the tech industry. It's not.
Stan.
Yeah, it's not. Well, see, this is what I see. The comments, they're saying they feel like we're saying that, or black people are saying that, and maybe some are, but the majority aren't. Are saying that you are doing something to us right now, and you're enslaving us right now. But it's like, nah, y'all just don't. And I saw one girl's comment, which I thought she said it beautifully. It kind of resonates with what I was saying in our other video. Y'all just act like slavery, the 244 years of slavery, and then the technically 86 years, but I call it 100 more years of Jim Crow, as if that didn't affect Black America even today, as if that's not the reason as to why we have so much poverty and so much I don't know, there's so much negativity in this culture. And then we just want you to understand that. So then, because many white people do see us as inhuman on some level. White people see themselves as normal, and they see black people as something else, borderline animals. Yeah. And the thing is, it's so easy to dismiss a people as animals when you don't acknowledge the history of it all. But maybe I went on a little bit of tangent there, so I forgot what we were talking about.
Okay, so I'm gonna reel you back in. So, by those statements what I just read, the transcript.
Oh, right, that gentleman.
I just, it just hurts me, man. It honestly hurts me to know that everybody's entitled to their opinion and their perspective. I agree with that. But it hurts me. It does hurt me to know that people do have this perspective, this thought, and this thought process, man. Like, a lot of times when I read the comments and on threads and blogs and things like that about political and social events, they always throw up, how does this have to do with this? Mm-hmm. Like, why did you bring this up and it doesn't relate, doesn't correlate? Like, for instance, with the Bill Cosby thing, it was, well, how does what Charlie Sheen did compare to what Bill Cosby did? You upset how they treated Bill Cosby, so how do you throw up what Charlie Sheen has done? And I feel like, it does. It may not be the same thing per se, the exact same thing, but it involves women. Mm-hmm. That's a check. They both involve scandals with women, sexual exploits of women that were quote unquote not consented. So it relates in that matter, and they are of different races. Yeah. So, they were upset about his star being taken up and Charlie Sheen's stars not being taken up. So I say that to say, how does Beyonce honoring the armed forces relate to her talking about or celebrating the Black Panther Party? Like, how you just were trying to scramble to say something to throw everybody off of that trail, and so you said, okay, why didn't you celebrate the armed forces? Why would Beyonce? What would be her reason for celebrate? What is there to celebrate about the armed forces? Like, and don't get me wrong, because I know people, I respect and I salute you all that risk your life. No, especially in times like these, to go do that job, to say this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
For people like you and I to sit here and be able to debate and talk right now.
Yeah.
I salute you all. But what is she celebrating? What is she going to celebrate?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Beyonce in past videos in police officer uniform. That
Right.
wasn't, like. So I'm just trying to understand. Celebrate that instead of the Black Panther Party. What do you have against the Black Panther Party then?
Right. So you know what he like? What? See, he's talking about the promotion of unity, right? And so people think any kind of group that is defined by their difference is thereby sort of disharmonious with the rest of the world. And I admit that there is a potential threat there with some people, because there's always. I must admit that just if I am to give him an inch, that sometimes black empowerment is a slippery slope towards ethnocentrism, and I mentioned that before, where you feel like then you do develop a hatred or distrust towards all non-black people, and you feel like black people are the only ones that matter, and you care only about black people. But again, I'm not seeing that with just formation. Now you could say I'll hear you if you say that's a potential threat if we were to let it get to that place. But at the moment, that's not what I feel. I don't feel that's what's happening. I feel because black people want to be harmonious with everybody. We want every black person that I personally know. I don't know any black person personally who hates white people. I've never met a black person personally who doesn't want to get along with non-black people, who doesn't want to have a multiracial group of friends if that opportunity presented itself. I don't know any black person personally who's ever denied themselves friendship with someone that's non-black merely because they were non-black. So I feel like you just need to, like, the reality is that that's probably not going to happen. The probability of that going to this place where we want to secede from the damn union is like, come on, man. It's like we want to, like, so. Nah, it's about making ourselves feel better, making ourselves feel powerful, making ourselves feel good, feel like it's good to be black. Because I don't know what a lot of y'all don't know. A lot of black people are very, due to history, and due to the way society is structured, and due to the cyclical nature, the generational nature of poverty and all those other things, a lot of black people aren't really proud. There's a lot of self-hate. There's a lot of you're made to feel ugly at a young age due to certain concepts of beauty that are thrown at us. We don't see good representations of what it is to be black. Obama's probably the best thing ever in a long time. And so you just gotta understand that this is not as harmful, I think, as you think. All things considered. Now, I will grant you this. If it goes from formation to F white people, okay, then it's like, all right, nah, but is it doing that, or is it just yeah, black power? Because remember, again, pro-black does not mean anti-white, but pro-white, pro-white has often shown to be anti-black and anti any other race. Because what is there to be pro about? I just want to say this one last thing. I'm gonna shut up though. I call something the advantage disadvantage rule. A rich person can't make fun of a poor person, but a poor person can make fun of a rich person. An ugly person can make fun of a beautiful person, but a beautiful person can't make fun of an ugly person. Why is this? Why does this double standard exist? It's due to the advantage nature of the rich person, the advantage nature of the beautiful person compared to the disadvantaged nature. So, what does the beautiful person? Why does the beautiful person need to have a self a self-help group, a support group. You don't need one beautiful person. Rich person, do you need a support group because all the poor people are making you feel bad? No, that's not how it works. And so black people are the ones who are disadvantaged. And so we need this support group. That's simple as that. If you follow the advantage disadvantage rule, were we the majority, were we on top, this wouldn't be necessary, and then it would potentially lead to oppressive things. But we aren't in any position to oppress nobody, so it's not of any concern like that.
So okay, I have this other supposed to be Sheriff David Clark. He went on.
Oh yeah, that
Fox News, yeah. Man. Fox. It's very entertaining. Fox News is very entertaining. It's entertaining. So it goes, Beyonce coming out in those Black Panther type uniforms. Would that be acceptable if a white band came out in hoods and white sheets in the same sort of fashion? We would be appalled and outraged. So, based on that
false correlation,
is it safe for me to assume that he's comparing the Black Panther Party and the KKK? Is it safe? Based on what he's saying, they're on the same wave.
Yeah, right? that's basically what they're saying.
Okay. So, slavery ended in the late, slavery quote unquote ended in the late 1800s.
Right.
And so I did a little research on the KKK because I mean, of course, you go on. It's so funny how when you're in school, elementary through, they tell you a little bit about the KKK, yeah. But they give you so much more on slavery, but they paint the way they want it to be taught and how they want you to read it.
Yeah.
That's why kids is best to do your own research outside of the textbooks in school, because you will be brainwashed like we have been brainwashed, and we don't want you to be brainwashed. So yeah, parents, please get your kids other text outside of what they take home from school. But anyways, so I research it's 3 parts to the KKK. It goes 1865, which was right after slavery and things, to I believe the early 1900s. Then the second wave was from the early 1900s to 1945, and then the third wave is from 1946 to right now, present time. Mm-hmm. So the KKK has been around for so long, and the goal of the KKK was to continue the suppression of one particular group, race, culture, right? The Black Panther Party, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't established until when? We're celebrating the 50th anniversary this year.
Yeah. So
the Black Panther Party wasn't established until,
I'm bad at math.
1956.
Sure.
If we're celebrating the 1956. Sure. So we're on the third wave of the KKK being established in 1946. That's 10 years prior to when the Black Panther Party was known to be, okay. So my question to you is, how can you compare the two? Yeah, we would be appalled because of what KKK stood. Black Panther Party stood for, just like you said, empowering black people. I don't remember the KKK going out and feeding poor white children. Yeah. I don't remember the KKK going out and helping in the oppressed people, their oppressed people be uplifted. I do remember the KKK burning churches and bombing little children in churches and schools and lynches and dragging them on trucks and chains. I remember the KKK doing that. If the Black Panther Party would have done that, the entire U.S., and which they did deploy tanks and the U.S. armed forces to put a stop to them getting powerful. You look at Bobby Seals, Huey P. Newton. You look at all these people that were in that, and Assata Shakur. She's not even in the country anymore because of things that happened during that time frame, and they were to empower black people, to help black people. We weren't going out shooting up police stations.
Yeah.
We weren't going out robbing banks. We weren't going out burning down people's homes.
Yeah.
It was a reaction to an action that would happen. KKK just acted.
Yeah.
They didn't. What were they reacting to?
No, they just.
They were reacting to slaves, black people, slaves becoming free.
Yeah.
That's what they were reacting to. So they just continued what was already happening during slavery and they took it into their own hands to continue that track record. So I was appalled at that statement. I was more appalled at that statement than seeing a band come out. I would expect the band to come out in some sheets, and in these times I wouldn't be surprised.
And not to mention, somebody posted a picture of I think it was maybe Ted Nugent, Kid Rock, some other Confederate flags. I saw that. It's so you can represent the Confederate flags, despite what you would like it to stand for. One of the things that it definitely stands for is the institution of slavery. One of the things that they were definitely trying to hold on to. And so when you brandish that, you're supporting that. So none of these. The moral of the story of that, what you just said, is that they're incomparable. You cannot compare if you want to analyze the Black Panthers and talk about some things that were quote unquote terrorist acts or radical. Yeah. Okay, but to compare them to Ku Klux Klan is ridiculous. It's absurd, and it's not even doable. It's not even justifiably doable. Now, because I know that there's some people. I know there's that thing where talking about some person in the Black Panthers. I think it was Shakur was responsible for a cop killing, which is alleged. And I know Bill O'Reilly was arguing Jon Stewart once on that because because Common I think rapped about the Black Panther member, and then he was invited to Obama's some kind of gala or whatever to say poetry, and Bill O'Reilly was like, he's letting he defended a cop killer and stuff. So talk about those instances. All right, y'all need to defend that and focus on those little things here and there. But how dare you compare the Black Panthers to the Ku Klux Klan? Because Ku Klux Klan was indefinitely a terrorist organization within its own country. They literally, and I'm not even misusing that word, terrorists. If anything, they were psychopaths, borderline. They were the equivalent of anybody going into a random place and bombing everybody. They were just as bad as Islamist extremists, as if you want to paint them for those people who are who consider them to be the worst thing in the world. So the Ku Klux Klan was also too. But see this, and then now somebody's they say yeah they were bad. But see, we're just well, you can't use it. The main thing when I see these arguments,
it's the past.
Remember it's the past. It's the past.
Yeah.
Don't stop using this as an excuse. So here's the thing. This is what black people need to understand. Where these arguments are coming from. In case if you don't already, I just wanted to let you know that where white people are coming from, and what I've observed is they feel that, for one, anytime you use history, you're excusing any kind of negative behavior going on right now. And for two, that how can we say anything about anything because we're not addressing the violence in our own community and we're killing each other. Now here's the thing, and this is what people don't want to say. The first one is the first one about excusing the present due to the past, I think is very unfair and it's not honest, and you're not honest with yourself about how history affects the present. So I throw that one out. If anyone who is using it as an excuse, I don't know anyone personally who does that, and that's stupid. But the second one about, now we'll grant this, we do have ridiculous amounts of violence in our community that we also need to address. And that's something that I got a Chicago. Well, I guess you want to talk. We got never mind. All right, but
we're gonna touch on that, man.